Hey, good day, everybody. Good day, good day. Good day, Wayne, my space cadet snowflake checking in. Hoo-ha. Yes, Wayne. I love your energy. I love it all, Wayne. Yes, yes, yes. So good day, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. Good day, mommy. It's good to see you. So you know what the SIP stand for. SIP is an acronym for Spirit in Practice, Tim. Spirit in Practice, because that is where the perfection is. It is in the practice. So we practice, Gladys. Gladys became an award-winning jewelry maker. That's right, I said that. through practice. Through practice. I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere. Yes, I am Gladys, award-winning jewelry maker, Asante Jewels. That's what I'm talking about. So we are in Tuesday, and we would normally have started a new series Monday, but you know that yesterday we wrapped up our 10-day series of distractions married with the New York Times 10-day Fresh Start Challenge. So I hope that was good for you all. If you missed any of it, you can check it out. How about going to my YouTube channel, I Am Red Melissa, to check out the 10-day Fresh Start Challenge if you missed it, because you might have been traveling, Lindsay, and you might have missed some episodes, Stacy. So it's all available for everyone on my YouTube channel, I Am Red Melissa. So let's get into it. So, new series. And I have the we're gonna do another confession. That's what we're doing. I guess that's what we're doing. Another confession. You know, they say confession is good for the soul. Confession is good for the soul. So I went within. It started last night. I set my bedtime intention for the new series, and I woke up this morning and I was just all over the place. All over the place. Right. My mind was here, my mind was there. I was looking at this, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, I like this, I like that. I want that. Right. I was in the this morning. And so I told my producer, it's kind of it's a work in progress. It's a working title. I'm not sure, but we're just going to see how it unfolds. So the series is, with a question mark, Share. The new series is Share, subject to change. Subject to change. Because I have so much I want to share today. I have so much I want to share today. Yes, it's an abundance of choices. So it's going to be like an appetizer, like a little taste of this and a little taste of that. And then we'll see like what the meal is, right? We might see what the meal is tomorrow. So we're in June. That's the other thing, for me, June is a very special month because a lot of folks that I love, birthdays are in June. My husband's birthday is in June. Seku's birthday is in June. My girls are graduating from middle school this June, which is like mind blown. And some other folks have birthdays in June. And so it's a lot of activity in June, And so I want to be grounded in what do I want to be? What just came to mind was just love. I just want to be grounded in love, right? Just stay focused there. Let that energize me. Let that lead me, because when there's a lot of stuff going on, sometimes we could go into overwhelm. So instead of going into overwhelm, we're going to love, just more love, over love, just love, right? And then the other thing that's wonderful about June, speaking of love, is it's also Pride Month. So June is also Pride Month. And so that brings its own love energy. So I'm excited about everything that's unfolding for us this month. So I was thinking about the new series, and And let me tell y'all what had happened. So last night, I'm working on being an affiliate minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. So Centers for Spiritual Living is the global organization, and there are ministers and there are practitioners, and I am a licensed religious science practitioner through Centers for Spiritual Living. However, I am an interfaith minister, which is not a part of Centers for Spiritual Living's umbrella. So right now I'm in the process of becoming an affiliate minister. So it's a process, y'all. And so part of the process is me gathering up information about my studies and seminary, my grad degree. I got my master's degree in spiritual psychology. And so there's a lot of things that are transferable to meet the requirements of being an affiliate minister. And so I'm gathering up that information. And you know what happens when y'all go looking for something. So I knew where the stuff was. I had this wicker storage bin, and I knew all my grad stuff was in there, and I knew all my seminary stuff was in there. And so last night I went on a little treasure hunt and found all kinds of treasures. And so I'm going to share some today. I'm going to share some with you today. So one of the things I found was when I was in grad school. So I went to the University of Santa Monica in California, and I would commute there once a month. I would fly to California. I did this for 2 years. It was amazing. I've shared my journey about that whole process, about it being a desire of my heart to go there and to get my master's in spiritual psychology. And one of the things that was required as our final thesis was to create our own counseling approach. Now, I remember at the time having heart palpitations about, you want us to do what? Come up with a whole counseling approach? What? Like, I remember, I was like, who do you think we are? Like, we in school. Like, what is going on? And so through a lot of encouragement and a lot of confidence, really, I went about doing so. And so I found my final thesis with my counseling approach. And so I want to share that. So the counseling approach that I created is an acronym. So the word is Africa. Okay, the word is Africa. Now, mind you, USM is a pretty white institution. I would say the percentage of Black folks there was maybe 1%. And so here I come talking about, I got a counseling approach. My counseling approach is called Africa. Right? And so Africa is an acronym for, let me find it. Acronym for Africa is Awareness for Reaching Inner Counseling Approach. So my whole thing was, I was like, wow, I've been on this for a minute now. My whole thing was to counsel people and support them in counseling themselves, to get in touch with their own inner counsel, right? Their own inner knowing, their own inner intuition. That's been my desire for decades, And so part of my, the other thing that the school encouraged us to do was to be very creative, right? So I didn't do a thesis that was your typical thesis, document. I did it in the form of an interview. So is my thesis was formulated and being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. So the whole thing, my whole thesis is me being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey about my counseling approach and how Gary Zukov, I told y'all, the brain does not know the difference between reality and your imagination and what you are envisioning and what you are visioning for yourself. So Gary Zukov had told Oprah Winfrey about me because he had been following me. I don't know how, but apparently he had been following me. And he was just on Oprah's show talking about The Seat of the Soul, which I know is one of my favorite books. And so Oprah said, well, I got to have this girl, Melissa, on my show so I can hear about her counseling approach. And so that is my thesis, being interviewed by Oprah on her show. Thank you. So one of the things that Oprah asked me is, oh yeah, yo, I did. Let me tell y'all what, let me tell y'all something. They thought I was a little strange in school. And that was okay with me. It really was. So Oprah asked me, what do you mean by inner counselor? That was one of her interview questions to me. And this is what I said. I said, I believe each of us has an inner counselor. Sometimes we have glimmers of it with a capital IT as the little voice inside that offers guidance. Sometimes we choose to listen and sometimes we don't. And sometimes we are not able to because we have forgotten that we are connected to who we really are, who we truly are. The Africa counseling approach supports the client's process of connection, not correction. Connection, not correction. There is no need to fix, to make better, or to be right. I believe that each of us are divine beings having a human experience, and some of us have just forgotten. And Africa brings the person back home to the motherland. Y'all, I was having a good time. Yes, Lori. Yes. So part of the Africa counseling approach is what I call yep, that's what I wrote. Right? And stands for is A-H. Right? So stands for, because this is what Oprah asked me, how does a person get to the self level with a capital S? So how does the person reconnect to their inner counselor? And I said, the approach is yes. And so stands for awareness, acceptance, accountability, authenticity, and healing. Is the inner knowing of I am. Yes. And then I went on and on and on, right? So that was one of the things I wanted to share. So there's a possibility that this share series might turn into the series. No, Sekou. It's A-H. 4 A's, 1 H. Yes. So that's a possibility. One thing that I wanted to share. And I'm gonna show off for a minute because I got a hundred a A on this thesis, and at the end, my professor wrote truly inspired work. I was so proud of myself. I was showing my husband, look, honey, look, I got 100. And he was like, yeah, that's nice because the basketball game was on. So that's one thing. That's one thing. And then the other thing, I found this little note. Yes, Stacy. Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3. You could feel the energy shift, can't you? Oh, I could feel it. It's like a settling, a grounding, a rooting. Yes? So the other thing I found that I wanted to share, it was just a little note in the treasure, in my little treasure chest. That's what I'm calling it now. It's a storage bin made of wicker, but it's now a treasure chest. Abracadabra. So, a note. I don't know if I wrote this. I don't know if this was something that I wrote, that came from me, or if it's something that someone has shared and I wrote it down. So I can't take credit for this because I'm not 100% sure. So this is the note. It's about showing up in your life as your true self, as your gift. Unite with yourself. Be a safe haven for your true self. Our gift is speaking to us. Are you listening? Listen to your gift. Listen for your gift and do what it is telling you to do. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Make a move. Just a tiny baby step. Being your true self is being fully yourself and not full of yourself. I said, well, all right. That does sound like something I would say. So I had that in there that I wanted to share. And I think maybe someone needs to hear that today. Is it you? Anyone? Anyone needed to hear that today? It's about showing up in your life as your true self. Unite with yourself. Be a safe haven for your true self. Our gift, your Congregation of Joy, is speaking to you. Are you listening? Are you listening? All right. So that was the other thing I wanted to share. And then, yes, Stacy. And then Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Y'all know I love him. And I have been thinking about Ralph off and on the last couple of days. And I said, you know what? Let me go see when Ralph's birthday is. So Ralph's birthday was May 25th. I said, interesting. That's not that long ago. And so I did this whole thing about Ralph Waldo Emerson when I was in practitioner training through CSL, the process of becoming a licensed religious science practitioner. And so I wanted to share something from that. Yes, why not? It's sharing day. So in 2016, I did a talk at Rockland CSL. And all of the talk was about Ralph Emerson and his essay, Self-Reliance. That's one of my favorite essays of Emerson, Self-Reliance. And so the talk was all about that. And the talk was titled A Recipe for Self-Reliance. And one of the quotes of his was this, and this is what I want to share. We but half express ourselves and are ashamed of that divine idea which each of us represents. It may be safely trusted as proportionate and of good issues, so it be faithfully imparted. But God will not have his work made manifest by cowards. God would not have his works made manifest by cowards. And I shared in that talk that quote really pissed me off when I first read it. right? Because it struck a nerve with me. And it was like, it made me question. This is what I wrote. It made me question again. Am I doing what is mine to do? Am I doing what is mine to do? Because if I'm not doing what is mine to do, then I'm being a coward. I'm being a coward, right? I'm neglecting God's assignment. I'm neglecting my divine assignment. I'm neglecting what I agreed to do. My soul made an agreement before I came into this physical form. And if I'm not doing my divine assignment, then I'm behaving as a coward. Now, I'm not saying I am a coward. I'm not affirming that. But it's cowardly tendencies, right? Not showing up for ourselves, not doing what is calling us to do, not listening to our inner counselor, right? Not living in the, yes, right? So I wanted to share that. And then the last thing I wanted to share was, so I said I've been doing this Emerson thing. And so, of course, I do my 365 days of richer living. And this morning, y'all, you know what? We did a whole 10-day series about distraction. Did I do my morning practice first thing this morning? No. You know why? Because I was all over the place. It really started last night, all over the place. And I said to myself, girl, you up there talking about distraction and getting present, and look at you, get it together. So all this happened before my morning practice. And then I talked to myself and I sat myself down. I said, okay, let's do our morning practice before sip. So I go get my 365 days of richer living for my inspirational reading for June 1st. And who's the opening quote? Emerson. I said, well, all right. And I'm just going to read the opening quote. Thou shalt not profess that which thou dost not believe. Thou shalt not heed the voice of man when it agrees not with the voice of God in thy own soul. I was like, yes, Emerson. Don't heed that voice, that inner critic, that yeah, you ain't this, you ain't that. Yeah, look at you. You didn't even do your morning practice this morning. What you talking about? Don't heed that voice. Heed the voice of the divine, of the spirit within you, of your inner counselor that said sweetly to me, okay, beloved, let's go sit down. Let's do our morning practice together. Right? Heed that voice. It's always loving. It's never critical. It's always gentle and kind and compassionate. That's how you know it is the voice of your inner counselor. Yes? All right. And then the last thing I wanted to share was, I don't know if you all subscribe to the Science of Mind magazine, but June's Science of Mind magazine, the cover, when I got this out of the mailbox, I was like, what? Come on now, CSL, you are giving me life right now. So on the cover is Sonia Renee Taylor. I love her. And the book is, the focus for this month is Radical Self-Love, The Soul's Call. The Soul's Call. That might be a series, y'all. The soul, because that's what all this has been about. The soul's call. The soul has been calling out to me for decades, right? The stuff that I'm sharing with you, we're talking about decades. I was in grad school in 2001, 2002, right? decades ago. So we've all been on this journey all of our lives, and our soul has been calling to us. Are we listening? Are we heeding the call? Are we heeding the call? Are we loving ourselves through the journey? Right? Are we loving ourselves through the journey? So one of the things that I wanted to share. Oh, and then the person that's doing the daily guides this month is Reverend Dr. David Alt. And I love him. I love him. So I know every day is going to be juicy. And today was juicy. I'll just read one of the quotes that he used. A pail turned on its side cannot be filled with rain from heaven. That's from Ernest Holmes. Oh, ain't that good? A pail turned on its side cannot be filled with rain from heaven. How many of us are turned on our side or turned upside down completely? Right? Can nothing come in? Right? We gotta open up. We gotta be in that opening position. Yes. In the position of opening and sharing. Yes, yes, yes. So what I wanted to share, that wasn't it, y'all. What I wanted to share was from something that Sonia said in her book. And she has this amazing book called Your Body is Not an Apology. And so she said this, because everyone is right now, I'm hearing so many conversations about, oh, finally, the pandemic is over and corona is corona. COVID is over and we could all go back to normal, right? So this is what she said. We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal, other than it normalized greed, inequality, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment. Ah, yes, yes, yes. And so when she said that, that quote was originally credited to Brene Brown. And Brene Brown said, oh, no, I didn't say that. And then she had her whole team find out who said it and then gave Sonia the credit. Brene Brown's my girl because I love that. And then there's a whole story behind that I won't get into. But so, yeah, y'all. So potpourri today, an appetizer today, of little things to nibble on, see what fits, see what's there for you, see what you like, see what you need to ingest, take in. Yes. All right, y'all. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We got a lot of things percolating. If you have any ideas, please put it in the comments as I go into some joy news. Thank you, Stacy. Yes, she needed to hear that. It's always loving. Yes, yes, yes. So any ideas about where I should go tomorrow with this, please put it in the comments and I'm going to go into some joy news. So living life in joy this Sunday, June 6th. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time is an amazing guest, my husband, Marco Nobles. And so there's my baby. So Marco is curating Living Life in Joy this month in celebration of Black Music Month. So all of the guests are coming to us through Marco. It's going to be a wonderful, fun month. So please join us June 6th, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Save the dates. June 11th is our next meditation with the new moon, 4 a.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. And I just want to say this right here because I keep doing this. The days that we have meditating with the moon, we do not do a morning sip at 10:30. The morning sip is the meditation with the moon at 4 a.m. Okay, so I just want to put that out there now because I keep saying 10:30. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. I'm like, no, we're doing meditating with the moon. Okay, so June 11th, mark your calendars. And then we have a 3 for Sunday on June 13th. Of course, we have Living Life in Joy. And my guest on June 13th is Steve Wallace, an amazing independent artist. Then I'm speaking at Rockland CSL, my spiritual home, at 11:30. And then at 7 o'clock that evening, I am the guest on Regina Smithwick's Let's Talk podcast. And the whole focus is on working with life coaches. So I'm excited to be a part of that podcast. Please support my ministry of joy, my joy line, the podcast, the YouTube channel, I Am Rev Melissa. Yes, Etsy. You can find all the joy products on Etsy at I Am Rev Melissa. And you can give a love offering at Venmo or Cash App if my work resonates with you, my ministry of joy resonates with you. You can give there. And thank you so much to those of you who have given love offerings. I so appreciate your generosity. All right. So let me check in with Sekou because I gave him some things he's going to talk about today. But I'm going to see if he has something else he wants to share before he shares his stuff.
Well, it's sharing day.
It's sharing day.
So I'm gonna get on the bandwagon. I'm gonna get on the sharing bandwagon. So this is what I got to share. So maybe Sunday. Well, anyway, this weekend I went hiking. First time since I was a kid, like hiking up in the woods, cobwebs and all that stuff, right? But for some reason, I couldn't get the trail out of my mind. Like it kept coming back. And it stayed with me late last night, and it was still with me early this morning when I was trying to do my morning practice. And I was trying to do my morning practice, but this trail kept visiting me. And I was like, we don't have time for that trail. We got to do our thing. But it kept visually, I kept seeing myself standing at the foot of the trail, which I didn't do when I hiked it, but I saw myself standing at the foot of it. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, no, we got to go to the gym. We got to do the job. We got to do the things. And that image kept coming, right? And I was like, all right, well, I guess that's still small voices telling me something. Not all the bigger voices. That's still small voices telling me something. So, and it was inconvenient too. It's like, it's not a half a block away like the gym is, right? So I had to go to the trail. But I went to the trail, and I stood at the foot of it. I took a picture, and this small voice said, run the trail. Now, the rest of my voices were like, no, that's insane. That's insane. We walked the trail. It's treacherous. Ain't no way we're going to run the trail. There's no way we're going to run it. But there's still small voices like, yeah, go ahead and run it. So I ran the trail, and it's a hiking trail. We're talking about like a trail. And the lesson for me, there were many lessons, but the lesson that came through as I was doing that was something that you've said in a different way. You've said it in the way of stay on your mat, stay on your yoga mat, right? Mm-hmm. As I was jogging the trail, it became so important to stay focused on what I was doing in a small nature, like small steps, like very focused on where I was stepping. Because anytime I got distracted by the cobwebs, the loose gravel, the mud, the scenery, the deer that kept running ahead and looking back at me and running ahead and looking back at me. Every time I got distracted by those things, I would lose a little bit of my footing. And so it's so important to stay focused on your space, on your steps, on your growth, on your movement, because that is what gives you the confidence to keep moving forward in a strong way.
Yes.
And all of that happened this morning as I went running on this trail. And so that's my share. I'm still getting lessons from it. They're still like popping up. And so I guess the other lesson is listen to that still small voice, because you never know what's on the other side of it. Like I could have talked myself out of it. I tried to, and I could have talked myself out of it. But on the other side of it, I got all these wonderful lessons. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
So, So that's my share.
Is that all you want to share, Sekou?
I mean, we're over time, but since we're here, so the whole weekend, my 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 film Test Driving While Black has been playing online. We're streaming it as a fundraiser for my alma mater, which is Morehouse College. We're raising money to create scholarships for students going to Morehouse, and also for the alumni here in Nashville. And so if you want to check that out, please do. I'll put the bit.ly link up. And again, this is a documentary that I created, a documentary short. It's only about 10 minutes about a test drive that I had that went sideways in a racial way. And then I was blessed enough to turn that story into a story that can be shared. That people can talk about. So there's been some really good feedback about it. There's also a talk back at the end, and this is rent on demand, right? So you go to this link and then you make a donation, and then you can watch it whenever you want to. It was supposed to end today, but we decided to extend it because a lot of people have been interested. So it's still up now. Just go to the link and rent it and check it out. Let me know what you think, and stay tuned for the talk back at the very end.
Excellent. Excellent. So there we have it. June's an exciting month. So we'll be hearing more from Sekou about what's happening in June with him. And I guess we should end the show. Okay, Sekou. So we have to do better with our time. We've been spoken to. So we gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us today. Thank you for your presence. I hope you received something from today's sharing. A morning sip of sharing. I know there was something there for someone. So I will see you all tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on New Thought Media Network. Please donate to the network. They're doing amazing work. They are providing uplifting, positive programming. And so you can do so by going to their website, ntmedia.org, and hit the donate button. So thank you all so much. So peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.